DP with Veterans Network Champions Club, doing a quick response video for an article I just read that you may have seen. If not, hopefully this is something that'll be interesting for those affected. There's an article that came out from Navy Times: sailors and Marines with PTSD or other trauma to have their discharge upgrade cases re-examined, right? So sailors and Marines who may have requested an upgrade from other than honorable, bad papers have been denied, and off they went. So there's been some changes, a court decision that just kind of came out, and basically they're going to be automatically reviewing records. So I'm going to show that to you real quickly here and kind of give you a little background, because this actually can be bigger and is bigger than the Navy and Marine Corps specifically, but you'll understand and see why. So this will be a quick take, but bottom line, if you've ever had a case for an upgrade denied, right? You presented the document forward and the system said, nope, you have the ability now to have that looked at again. So this is the Navy Times document here. It'll be linked as well in the description to be able to see all the data. But this just came out right now, and really what we're looking at here is for, other than honorable or general characterization discharges due to or connected to PTSD, traumatic brain injury, military sexual trauma, or other mental or behavioral conditions that have been denied. Now they're going to review them and basically have another go at it. So a key thing to note here is going to be that they're going to automatically review discharge upgrade decisions that were denied from the March 2nd, 2012 to February 15th of this year, and anything before that, right, from October 7, 2001 forward, you'd have to request that basically to have that looked at. Now the reason this came to be is because this has been part of the conversation. If we go back a little further to October, the Navy discussed the fact that we're going to reevaluate this. You go back a little bit further than that, the Pentagon actually looked to aim to do this. But this actually comes from Secretary of Chuck Hagel, who put an actual memo together in 2014, specifically looking at guidance for veteran discharge upgrades, considering the fact that this needs to be looked at. So the genesis of this here, you can see it right here, right? In cases of post-traumatic stress was not recognized as a diagnosis at the time of service. In many cases, these diagnoses were not made till after service. So we realize now that the reason a lot of these veterans were getting bad papers when they were being discharged was because they were dealing with mental health cases. So let's give consideration to this. So this happens in 2014. And of course, things overnight do not happen. But a special thing happened here, which is very interesting. It's a lawsuit basically was brought against the Department of the Navy. So this is the actual complaint that came forward, and it looks specifically at one veteran that stood up, which I think it's amazing, because really the take-home message here is what happened. So I will show here this. An Iraq war veteran with PTSD wins class action lawsuit to upgrade his discharge. So here we have Tyson Manker basically is discharged. He deploys, he has awards, his unit gets citations for great things. All good stuff happens. But then, he comes back from deployments, he's dealing with things, and all of a sudden now he is let go from the Marine Corps with, bad papers. So he now is not eligible to go to school, he's not eligible to do certain things, takes out a loan, goes to school, gets his law degree, and sues the government. And it becomes a class action lawsuit, which is to me hilarious, because at the end of the day, they're pretty much citing the Hagel memo to say, look, this is what you're supposed to do when it comes down to discharges that have a origin in mental health conditions, as we noted, and that's why. So here you have someone, and we know them, right? You've served, everything's fine. Deployment, things may happen, trauma, what have you, and all of a sudden now things change. So you go from everything's great to a few infractions or what have you, and then now we have some bad documents. So I think this is very interesting, but again, being able to understand what is available to you all is going to be key here, right? So automatic reviews of cases, time frame that was shown here. Again, we'll put those documentations for those that want a little more details. You'll see the complaint information here as well. Talks about about kind of what happened in his case and why they brought that forward. And then you'll also be able to see the updated decision and how that all works here. So it's specifically looking at Marines and Navy because of the fact that it was a class action lawsuit against the Navy. However, the memo itself is broad for all. So now this obviously begins the conversation of, if you were in the Army or in the Air Force and this applies to you, can you go ahead and claim this? Now, granted, you see a lot of language in here regarding 2001, September 11, and so forth. But if you look at the Hagel memorandum, it specifically also begins to look at veterans actually from the Vietnam era who have dealt with discharges and need to be considered for upgrades because of the fact that in those timeframes, maybe that was not something that was recognized. So it does make reference beyond current engagements, which I think is key here. So again, recent attention has been focused on a petition of Vietnam veterans to upgrade their discharge. So that brings upon the Hagel memo, which now it was used to get this class action lawsuit, in this case against the Navy for Iraq, Afghanistan veterans. So you see how all that has built up. But the biggest take home message is, if this applies to you, obviously, whichever way you choose to go, read the information, get versed, get legal advice, or whatever the case may be, whoever you're working with, organizations and so forth. If you've applied and you're in that time frame, as I said in the beginning here, it'll be automatically reviewed again. So March of 2012 to present, if you were denied, they're doing automatic reviews in the Navy and Marine Corps documentations. Anything before that, 2001 forward, you have to request another review. And if you haven't applied for an upgrade, maybe time to look into that, because obviously that then will limit you, has barred you rather, from having access to certain benefits. So just kind of a quick impression there, not too much of a deep dive, but I wanted to at least just say and share a few points on it if you haven't seen it, so at least you can see the bigger picture, because sometimes it becomes, oh, the Navy is doing this for the Navy and the Marine Corps. Well, it's because a veteran stepped forward and said, hey, this is wrong. I had to go to law school. I took loans. I couldn't get my GI Bill benefit. And now this changes thousands of lives. But beyond that, it showcases that the real underpinning silver bullet here was the Hagel memo, which is citing veterans of the Vietnam era. So if you're in those buckets, it doesn't matter. So it's not exclusive to Iraq, Afghanistan veterans. This is a overall conversation about if the reason for your other than honorable bad papers discharge came by way of mental health conditions that now we can see after service you may have been dealing with, or a loved one or someone you know. Time to have a deeper look at it. So hopefully this is informative. We can do a deeper dive if there are some questions. Again, not legal advice, not medical advice, or not something that you should do or not do, but just kind of bring it to the awareness. So hopefully at least you start to read and see if it's something that affects you or someone you know, you can make some informed decisions, because this is a win for all.